Okay, finally, after a delay of
over an hour,
80 minutes. 80 minutes.
1 hour,
1 hour 20 minutes.
1 hour 20 minutes. That is 2 hours.
They are inspired by our Indian Railways.
Almost touching in on 2 hours. Yeah. 1 hour 20 minutes is what we've had to wait. And eventually, the press conference happened.
Yes.
And eventually, you got answers to most questions that we thought would be asked. If you had joined us in our pre-press conference analysis, we did a mock press conference where exactly the same questions were asked as were asked in the press conference, barring a few, because in our mock press conference, everyone was only allowed 2 questions, so it was limited to that. But in the real press conference, because there were so many reporters, the total number of questions went to about 15, 16. Whereas when we did a mock, there were about 7, 8. But the main questions were of course asked, and would you believe it? Even the answers which we had given before the press conference was to start was exactly the same. If you haven't checked it out, you can now, because you have the benefit of hindsight, you can go and check our pre-press conference analysis. Anyway,
let's give it a name: the press mockference, because it was a mock press conference.
Press mockference.
The press mockference versus the press conference, and you'd be surprised at the accuracy. Really,
do check that out. Anyway, now that we've heard from the 2 protagonists who sat there, spoke about various things, let's discuss
first. Because there were all sorts of chatter happening in office because of the delay. There was a lot of build up as well. So everyone was just guessing around as to what the reason could be behind the delay, and the most popular choice is that they had to change their clothes. They walked in different t-shirts. They pulled out these new Adidas t-shirts that they were wearing today. So the most common guess I could hear along the way was that both the captain and the chief selector just took time to get hold of the right jersey, the right t-shirt. No, Ajit didn't walk in wearing this.
Rohit came.
I didn't see Rohit come in
with a dog tag kind of thing hanging from his. But even then, changing of clothes doesn't take that much time.
Doesn't take 1 hour 20 minutes.
Yeah, I do it every day for my TV show. If I do, it's like 60 seconds, boss. Change, boom, inside. What we were speculating is, what if
that was a
last minute change? They may announce a change of a player after the backlash. But then realistically, heart of heart, we knew that's not going to happen. The only other analysis that we had, which was a possibility why this was a delay, and I think that still holds true, was the fact that they may have had a debriefing, or they may have had some sort of a discussion as to how they're going to handle a few questions. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think now it's become part of professional sports where you have not a press,
mock friends.
Not mock friends.
You have debriefs.
Yeah, but you have debriefs, you sit and then you talk about various issues. This will crop up so that everyone is on the same page, the chairman of selector, the captain on the same page, and you know exactly how to tackle that, lest something goes wrong. Also, you must remember, this press conference was being beamed live on digital platforms, on television channels. But I must tell you something, a lot of you wouldn't know. Many a time, in fact most of the time, BCCI press conferences aren't allowed to be beamed live for us. We are told as journalists, I've been part of a lot of these press conferences, we are told in advance, even for television, when I'm reporting for television, that we can't beam it live. So we do have the live feed, but on our channels we don't beam it live. It actually gets recorded, and after the press conference is over, you can immediately put it out. You can play it out as live, but they don't do it because let's say something untoward was to happen, last moment they can rectify that. So they're very careful, and there's nothing wrong with that. These are protocols, a lot of places it's followed. This time it was live, not only on television, but they allowed it to be live on digital as well. So half the country would have been watching. In fact, a lot of you were watching it on Sports Today as well. So I'm sure they must have had a conversation with experts, their media managers or PR managers or whatever, and discussed about a few things, so they're on the same page. But the way it turned out, there was one particular question where they were not on the same page. We'll get to that. What was that, and where there was a bit of a conflict, not a conflict, but different overlap and different perspectives, which were presented by the chairman of selectors and the coach and the captain. And I must say that the captain handled it rather well. We'll get to that in a bit from now. But I think primarily the delay was because of sitting together, talking about Because the captain came slightly late, chairman of selector had reached earlier, then captain came, then I'm sure they were asked to change clothes and then also told. See, when we could do the press conference before it started with the questions that would have been asked, you pretty much knew what are the questions that are coming their way.
Yep.
They would have discussed that.
My only thing is that the timing of this press conference was known for good 24 hours now. It was made, the media was told about it. So maybe the debrief, just to have everyone, because we speak so much about time in the IPL and the time not being valued enough, that of the viewer. Perhaps today also the same logic should have been applied.
Yeah, you're asking for too much, yeah.
Where the same debrief could have happened.
Press conference, be happy.
Yeah,
no,
but
don't get into the nitty-gritties of 1 hour late. We get used. We have
1
to get
hour.
used to it. I'm saying baby steps. Baby steps.
Even
First, get used to us having press conferences. Then we'll reach back to that level of actually saying, what is this? You have told everyone that be ready at 4, then you push it to 4:30. Then right
Beyond
now
4:30.
we are just dealing in breadcrumbs, so we are fine.
even for the World Cup schedule, it initially was supposed to be announced at 12, right? But it was an hour delay when it was announced in June. I think it was an hour delay.
Candy.
No, the World Cup schedule.
World Cup schedule.
Yeah, I think it was a 1 hour delay.
I remember there was one, the Asia Cup squad was picked in Delhi where there was a press conference. I went for that in Taj here in Delhi. That was pretty much on time. I think it was slightly delayed because
15-20 minutes I think it was delayed.
but that wasn't delayed because there was a meeting happening. So I didn't know when the meeting will get over. So it finished and then the one in Kandy, the one
was
for
on
the
time.
kind of on time, may have been a 15-20 minute or half hour delay, not more than that, but yeah, pretty much on time. This was slightly more.
The World Cup schedule was delayed by an hour. Because I was in Mumbai, I was like waiting for that, and then I said there is a delay. So,
I remember. But
And then there was
Jay Shah was on stage. That,
Yes.
Then there was a change, and then they decided to have an India match on Diwali day.
Okay, let's get to the main points. The first point, and this was the first question. Remember, this is a T20 World Cup press conference, but the first question is about Mumbai Indian captaincy, and I think kudos to the journalist who asked him, because if you remember, while this issue kind of may have died down a bit because of how many matches has happened, but it was an issue that wasn't addressed by Rohit Sharma because he never spoke to the media after that. He did a few digital interviews where also this wasn't touched upon. So this question wasn't really asked of him. So the question was asked about Mumbai Indians captaincy and how he felt that, that captaincy was taken away from him. And what is it that Rohit Sharma said? If you can just cut it full frame and somebody can go through it.
So he said that, look, it's a part of life. It has been a great experience captaining MI. I have played under a lot of captains before this, and you go by it and you do what is required of you. You're no longer the captain.
What did you make of it? The first thing that I concluded from that was that where he mentions that not everything goes according to how you want it. And that itself told me that it was something
he was not consulted on.
Yeah, and something that he
against his wishes.
Yeah, against his wishes. While we all knew that, but why I'm saying that for the first time it's on record, right? See, at that time you knew that it was just not great. You knew that his wife put out her Instagram story, so you knew it wasn't, done amicably, like okay, on the same page, everyone. But then even then there was that slight doubt. Now, what if he had been consulted? What if because they hugged at least for the cameras and all? But now the first line he says, not everything the way you want it will happen.
Yeah.
So effectively, this is not something that he wanted, but it happened. But what I understood from him that he's made peace with it now. It's okay.
Begrudgingly.
But he's played under captains earlier also. He says that he was never a captain to begin with. Even from his earlier part of his career, he was never a captain. So he played under captains. Now also he's playing. So he's made peace with it, but it did not happen according to what he would have liked. That's the impression I got.
I mean, see, with the case of the Mumbai Indians, okay, when you look at Rohit Sharma, the captain, both in international and in T20I, okay, he took over Mumbai Indians' captaincy in 2013. When Virat was the captain, whenever Virat didn't go, he was the stopgap captain in international cricket. He chose, I don't want to play the series, I want to take rest. Then Rohit would captain, and he had success. When Virat stepped down, he became the full-time captain. But when he was a stopgap captain, he was a full-time IPL captain, led them to five IPL titles in 13, 15, 17, 19 and 20. When he became the full-time captain, his IPL form also dipped. When you look at his captaincy, 21 didn't qualify, 22 wooden spooners, 23 qualified. So, we all were in agreement that maybe the change should happen in 2025 when the mega auction was happening. But then 2024, with just 1 year to go, we don't know what is going to be Rohit's role in 2025. We don't know. Maybe last of his white ball fortunes. But whatever it is, I have achieved success for 10 years. Why should I give up on captaincy in such a way? The way how it was done. I think the management and the way how Rohit reacted and all that, it's for sure that he never expected that this would happen in 2024. Now he's trying to recover from it. Begrudgingly, he's had to make peace with it. Begrudgingly. It's not come right from the heart. It's not.
It wouldn't have. Given everything that played out after that press conference, whatever it was, that podcast that Mark Boucher featured on, then that comment that came in from Rohit Sharma's wife, we knew that, you know, the Mumbai Indians is a divided house now. They're not all on the same page. At the start of the season for the Mumbai Indians, it was, not an ideal start by any measure. There were also reports that there were two camps now. That first win also took some time to come. Those visuals were being read into quite a lot. Rohit and Hardik being together at times, not being together, Rohit being sent to field. All of that was happening in the backdrop of this transition, which was far away from being a smooth transition. And we knew there was always enough evidence today when Rohit says that not everything in life happens the way you want it to, just sums it up that this is not something that he wanted. If there is any headline over there, this just gives you a confirmation that this is not something which Rohit Sharma was consulted upon, Rohit Sharma expected, Rohit Sharma wanted or is happy about. He wouldn't have said those many words otherwise.
It just continues the lineage that transitions in India have never been smooth. I mean,
unless the one person chooses to walk away, that's the only time it's smooth.
I think the only smooth thing was MS Dhoni. That is the only time.
Dhoni to Kohli.
But look at how Virat went. It was kind of an acrimonious circumstances, the captaincy.
That's what I'm saying. It had to be willingly. In Dhoni's case, when he walked away, when he retired from Test captaincy, he knew he was done. So, fine.
Yeah.
But that's why, look, even for white ball, let's be honest, he may have walked away from captaincy, but continued playing on constantly. I don't think it helped the team that much. Because his powers at that point were already starting to wane, let's be fair.
And Nikhil would also know, in that era of the 90s also, a Tendulkar captaincy was taken away in rather acrimonious circumstances. Ganguly also was taken over acrimonious circumstances. So, it just continues the lineage at this point in time.
Yeah, and he's made it very clear. But there is another point on captaincy where Rohit Sharma speaks about, and this was the most interesting part of the conversation, where he was asked about this was a question actually addressed to Ajit Agarkar about how suddenly they had a situation where Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli were not part of the T20 side and Hardik Pandya was captain, and there was enough indications to suggest that he was going to be a captain going forward. How is it that Rohit Sharma, and kudos to the reporter, he asked while Rohit was sitting there, he said, how is it that Rohit Sharma comes back as captain and Hardik, who you had entrusted to, continue in that job of being captain, leading the team in the future for T20, and that was very evident with what was happening. How is it that Rohit Sharma comes back as captain? He asked it to the chairman of selectors. I think it was a good, hard question that was asked. To which Ajit Agarkar started replying, and he said initially before Rohit, he started replying by saying that, listen, Rohit is a proven performer, there's never a doubt over this, and on top of that, are you telling me Rohit's not a good captain? He's a very good captain. So once we took a decision, and he was trying to explain that we went to Rohit. This is interesting, because Ajit Agarkar says that they decided to go back to Rohit Sharma because of the form that he showed in the ODI World Cup and the captaincy that he showed in the ODI World Cup. So the chairman of selectors says that. And as soon as he's going down that road, he's saying that I have decided to bring him back. That means in a way saying that yes, Indian cricket had kind of moved on from Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, going the young players' way. But we've only gone back to Rohit because of how good he was as captain and batter in ODI. That's when Rohit Sharma, the captain, seeing where it's going, steps up and says, No. Let me answer that question. And then he takes control and he says, Ajit was not part of that selection committee which decided to go with Hardik Pandya as the captain in T20 and keep us out, right? He is part of a different selection committee and heading a different selection committee, so the mindset could have changed. Secondly, he reiterates what he had said long ago when he had gone to the US for a event on the ICC T20 World
During
Cup.
the West Indies tour.
Promotion. It was a promotional event for the T20 World Cup. At that time he had said that, listen, seniors are not out of the T20 format. We have decided to rest because this is the ODI World Cup year. We are only concentrating on ODIs. When it will be a T20 World Cup year, we'll come back. That was the first indication they'll come back. Secondly, of course, there was a change of chairman of selectors, and that's a valid point. Maybe Chetan Sharma, who was the earlier chairman of selectors, had a point of view of going with Hardik because he gave Hardik the captaincy right after the Australia debacle in the T20 World. He went out. Maybe Ajit Agarkar came with a different thought process, who we thought maybe Rohit and Virat should be part of that. That's one. I think Rohit makes a valid point. Secondly, as Ajit himself said, that Rohit Sharma's form in ODI cricket and his captaincy in ODI cricket made a big difference. So there you have it. Now you have a clearer picture, and a lot of times we discuss this on Sports Today and people would be saying that's conjecture. How can you conclude that it's on the ODI form? Now you've heard it.
Although it was not something that I think a lot of them wanted that to be known.
That detail,
but the way
out now.
But that genie is out of the bottle. The cat's out of the bag. You're not stopping it. Rohit stepped in, but he stepped in a little late. So he should have stepped in a little earlier because I think I don't know what it was.
He had no idea where this was going.
That's true. But once he started hearing that, he's like, oh no, I need to stop this now.
Played the ball late.
But to be fair to Rohit, instead of trying to,
He wasn't defensive about it.
he was not defensive. Maybe his intention was to set the record straight, saying that listen, you're going down that road, as in your question is suggesting that we were out, but hello, I'm correcting you that I had mentioned it earlier only that we were never out. We had decided to opt out.
This is controlling the narrative, if you ask me, because I don't agree with that narrative.
Okay.
I'm fully of the belief that what Ajit said was spot on. That listen, we brought him back because we were impressed with his leadership in ODIs, to which I said fair enough. I may not agree with it, but
he batted.
And also,
because there's a point made about batting as well.
And also the time available between the ODI World Cup and the T20 World Cup.
6 months.
That's it. It was those
He mentioned the timeline also.
He mentioned the timeline.
Yes.
And now it is evident that chairman of selectors, selection panel will mix formats. You've gone back on an ODI form and all these kind of things.
But you think that is the reason that they've gone back to him? Or is it the other reason which Rohit points out, that we were resting? Anyway.
Ajit, I'll believe Ajit on this.
You think ODI form, ODI captaincy World Cup has got them back?
Now if the chairman of
Ajit alluded to.
He did. It's right out there. You've heard it on camera. He said it out. And it's always been the fact, if you do well in one format, let's get him in the other format.
I mean, let's be
No,
fair.
but Siddharth, the thing was because Rohit would just play about those 25-30 balls, give you those quick fire 40. That's exactly the expectation. Because what was being said about Rohit Sharma during the ODI World Cup, that he's playing with the kind of intent that you see in T20 cricket. He's playing that aggressive brand of cricket. So I'm okay with that. And one of the reasons that I had Rohit in my 15 was also because I was also considering the ODI World Cup form, where yes, Rohit Sharma was giving India the quick start, and that's exactly, I don't want a Rohit Sharma possibly to stay after that 6-over mark in T20 cricket. If he's able to give me those 45-46 runs in 20 balls, I'm happy with what he was doing.
That's fair enough, but I mean, see, by that logic, then the Rishabh Pant should be dead certs in T20s because he plays with that kind of attacking mentality in Test cricket. You can't mix formats. It's simple as that. I don't care even if it's white ball to white ball. ODIs and T20Is whole different.
There are two amber signals of caution here when you have to mix formats. Okay, because it's Rohit, we are giving that leeway. Look at a Suryakumar Yadav. A Suryakumar Yadav is a great T20I batter, but he's never been able to crack the ODI code
at all.
Look at a Rishabh Pant, like what Shane alluded to. Test great, ODI great, but T20I 61 T20Is. Is big enough a sample, and if you want to go back even further, if it's a recent phenomenon, a DK.
Ben Stokes. Certified match winner, clutch player in Test cricket, ODI cricket. In T20s, his records are very mixed.
We all saw on the basis of Nidahas, DK made it to the 2019
ODI
World Cup? No, ODI World Cup. He struggled there. Now, because Hardik's injury happened at such a time that he was out for 4 months. That is the one thing he didn't mention. ODI World Cup finished in November. From that period till now, you have got 6 months. In that period, Rohit, Virat didn't play the Australia T20I series, neither did they play the South Africa T20I series because of rest issues. Fine, you had a torrid World Cup, very torturous travel thing. Yes, you needed that. 5 months to go, you've suddenly got them for Afghanistan. Virat didn't play in one, he played in two. And you just escaped in the third T20I versus Afghanistan. Now, because Ajit said today that you got World Cup performances and the way how he led it, it is now blatantly obvious you will mix formats looking at the timeline, and that is
But it's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's never worked well.
It's never worked well.
I can't think of a single time it's worked well. Even with Sanju, I appreciate the fact that Sanju Samson finally, after donkey's years, makes a squad. But what is it that brought him back into contention? That 100 against South Africa in the ODIs. Otherwise, they were not considering him. Ishan Kishan was the option. So, a combination of two things. One, him getting that 100. Second, Ishan Kishan's the whole debacle of, suddenly finding himself on the outs as far as Indian cricket were concerned, worked well in his favour. With Sanju, I still don't mind because generally speaking, in T20 cricket, he shows you that aggressive mindset. With
Can you
Rohit,
think of any who have had a successful transition in the last 4 to 5 years, suppose from a different format to a T20I? Can you think
or
of
T20I to other format.
other format?
Travis Head.
No, India, only India.
We're not talking foreign players. Foreign players that the head, Warner, etc. all count.
From ODI to
ODI to T20I or vice versa? T20I to ODI.
well, Pant has come based on ODI form now in T20I. It's not that his T20I form was great.
Yeah, exactly. Or test form, rather, you can say.
You can say test form.
Yeah.
But again, his T20, he's talking about being a success.
Success.
Not people getting a chance. Success. Like, say, for instance, a Mitch Marsh, right? He's someone who's played well across formats.
Who did well in ODIs and
And
For
has
India.
also done well in T20I, or T20I has done well in an ODI.
Pandya, maybe. Hardik Pandya to an extent.
Hardik-
Plays both formats and plays reasonably well in
Kuldeep
both
Yadav.
formats. Kuldeep, yes.
Kuldeep.
Bumrah.
Shami, you could say.
Shami too.
Shami.
Yeah.
Batters predominantly.
actually, if you look at it, to be fair to him, Shubman, he's not been picked, but has been pretty good in
All three formats.
All three
Yes,
formats.
and T20Is.
Yeah, and one T20 batter or one all format batter who plays T20s with a T20 strike, right?
Yeah, and though they mentioned his name, that
Maybe
was not
Yashasvi.
Yeah.
Yashasvi.
Ah.
Agree. Yashasvi.
Yashasvi.
Okay, moving on. There are a lot of important points. That's one aspect, and we're going to touch upon all the important bits of the press conference and really dissect them, get deep into it, and of course take your questions a little later. The other point that they talk about, and which Ajit Agarkar mentions, is that he was asked about what is it. I wanted to see the one on IPL. So, what is the basis of team selection?
Yeah.
So he says IPL is not the basis of team selection. He says we keep a track of the IPL, but if you get swayed by 3-4 months of performance, there is something wrong. We were clear in our thinking, which he added that they had made up their 15 even before the
few
IPL
months
had
back.
started.
Yeah.
They had the 15 in mind, may have made a change here or there, but their 15 was in mind,
fact-
and they don't want to get swayed by just 3-4 months of IPL, which, by the way, I like. I've
It's
always
great.
said that that's how it should be. But having said that, I'm not 100% convinced that this philosophy was followed. By and large, it was, yes, but I think there were a few selections which we'll get into which probably have not followed this philosophy, and that IPL has played a role. I'll
Your
give you an
reserves,
example.
your
I'll give you an
reserves.
example. Rinku Singh missing out can't be based on
Yeah.
15 months. It has to be IPL based. That's the only thing, because he doesn't have a blemish. This is not even a blemish, this IPL, but okay, slight dip, I will still agree, but there is no. The other bit of looking at overall performances, people who have been picked or not picked in that sense.
Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant.
He was
But
picked
that was
purely
the only way.
No, but
That
still,
was
you
the
didn't
only
need
way.
to.
No, if IPL was not important, Jitesh Sharma.
Yuzi
I
Chahal.
know he's not had a great time now, not had a great time in this IPL, but before that he was a number one wicket keeper.
And now
Even
he's
when
nowhere.
Pant was there,
Yes.
by the way,
Yeah.
even when Pant was there, but he's had. I agree that you've not picked him now. I'm not debating that. That's absolutely fine. But all I'm saying is that IPL did come into play. So isn't
Usage
that
trust.
A couple of your
Isn't there a
reserves, a
disconnect?
couple of your reserves come straight from IPL performances.
Khalil.
Khalil,
Avesh.
Avesh.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it wasn't for the IPL,
Yeah,
they
no,
would have-
Avesh, at least I still agree he was part of the Afghanistan
Please
squad
show
as well.
that, graphic, Pele.
So he was, he was part of the squad for the Afghanistan series as well. So Avesh, I'm gonna disagree. He was there and
Full
thereabouts. However, a Yuzi Chahal doesn't make it if not for IPL performances
by that
because he had
logic-
been discarded
Yeah, by that logic, it should have been Bishnoi then, because Bishnoi played the last series.
and won you the super over.
Yeah.
Well, he won you the super
Player of
over.
the series.
And he was fantastic in the series against Australia.
He was at one point ranked as high as number 6 in the T20I.
Right now too.
Exactly.
Right
look at
now
that.
too. That's what Irfan Pathan tweeted the other day.
Yeah.
So while I have no issues with the selection, I think they've done a good job. See, this is pretty much the 15 that we had picked here on Sports Today, barring a player here and there, which is also minor changes, not too much of a thing. I agree. I commend the selection committee, the captain, for picking the team. But I think this statement, where IPL was not looked at, is not entirely true. There have been few changes that have been based on the IPL, and you got to accept that. So I'm not going to take this at
Your
face value.
keepers. I mean, Sanju didn't do much in international cricket, unfortunately. I mean, he got out for a duck.
No, he got 100 in ODIs. That's enough to
ODI,
convince
yeah.
people.
That's enough. But then look at their form in the
Sarcasm.
IPL. Look at the form of both Sanju and Pant in the IPL.
Next.
Sanju's form has been okay. Yeah? What do you say?
Also, Rohit,
That's what IPL only
while
convinced.
Ajit made those comments, I think Rohit also followed up by saying that, listen, 3-4 months back we had clarity about 70-80% of the team.
Yes.
It's just the 3-4 players that we had to figure out. So that planning had happened.
That's, by the way, another stereotype.
Yeah.
Processes,
You check out
experience, 3 to 4
Check out the
players.
conference.
Check out.
Check out the mock
No, I was
friends.
disappointed. The word process
Pre-press
wasn't mentioned that
conference.
much though today.
No, we did the conference. They did the mock friends.
Okay, on the other important point, and by the way, when the press conference was on, I was wondering, that question hasn't come, come, it took some time, but came.
10 minutes later, the question was asked about Rinku Singh.
I'm not reading this. It's too painful.
Please, Harshit.
On Rinku Singh's omission, Ajit Agarkar was the man who answered. He said it was a tough thing. Rinku Singh has done nothing wrong. Even Shubman Gill did nothing wrong. There were plenty of wrist spinners included so that Rohit can get options. Might I also add that Rohit Sharma also went ahead and said that I was very clear that I need bowling options and I need it for spinners. That is something I really wanted.
So look at Shane. He does not want to hear it. But Shane, my point is, it's not now. Before this press conference started, you asked me this question, and I played who? Ajit Agarkar.
Ajit Agarkar.
What did I answer?
Nothing wrong.
Nothing-
Unfortunate.
Exactly this. Exactly. So check that out.
I know.
We should actually clip
So
it up.
weren't you ready for it? Then why are you disappointed?
No, I'm still disappointed. It's not fair. Not
We
fair.
knew that this was going to be the answer. We knew
Hashtag.
that this is what happens when a player misses out. Oh, it's really tough. We had to pick him up, but he came very close. And he's going as a travelling reserve. But it's quite frankly, it's not the same thing. I
कुछ
think-
नाम ऐसे भी थे जो सामने आए बट स्लॉट ना होने की वजह से हमें उनको ओमिट करना पड़ा.
It happens. I agree. See, by the way, the selector's job is very tough, right? They can't fit in everyone, no matter what they do. I know it's a thankless job. They will come under scrutiny.
Yeah.
I agree. But Rinku Singh, as has been spoken about everywhere, very unlucky to miss out. Okay, fine. I think I'll give it to the captain this time because when Rohit also came to speak about it, he insisted that he is the one who asked for 4 spinners.
Yeah.
And one thing which I found was fascinating, and I really liked it, was Rohit saying that I don't want to give you the exact reason why I want 4 spinners because other captains would be
are
listening. Now.
yes.
I will tell you that yes, I asked for 4 spinners. Why? I'm not going to, because it's obviously a tactical reason.
Yeah.
He said we've played enough cricket there recently to understand what I need. But I will tell you the exact reason once I reach the West Indies, because by that time everyone would have got their score. Right? So then he can let the cat out of the bag. But right now he doesn't want to tell, and I love that. I love this about
Gamesmanship
sport,
plus,
this
huh?
gamesmanship, this tactical thing that comes into play. Sometimes football managers don't want to tell you why, what they're doing. So I like that. Why I like the justification given by the captain as to what the reason is, and I will take him. See, he's one of the best captains you've had. He's a sharp thinker. He's a sharp captain. Records suggest that. So he's always on the ball. So I'm sure he knows a thing or two more than a lot of us in terms of what he needs tactically. So give it to him. But I'm still not happy about Rinku missing out.
As we'll always ask, the trilogy of mysteries, what wrong did Rinku Singh do?
Hashtag justice for Rinku.
Because if you look at both the
He's
IPL,
actually udas in his voice also.
Yeah.
if you look at IPL,
I thought I was over it. I was wrong.
we were all saying, right?
He's
Shubman-
Udas guys.
Udas. No, he's Shane Udas.
Shane Udas.
Shane Udas.
Like Pankaj. Huh?
Yeah, Shane Udas.
Yeah.
So, if you look at Shubman Gill's interview that he's given us, he said that even if you score 900 runs and you're not selected, you did see that bit of pareshani, right, in his voice.
But I felt that Shubman knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Rinku had no idea.
Rinku had no.
Yeah, with Shubman, he could see the writing on the wall.
And plus, remember, Shubman was still dropped from Afghanistan
Afghanistan.
11. Rinku was your go-to guy. We were singing praises about Rinku during that Afghanistan last year. He's like, how Rinku first name, you
First
have to
name,
ride, you
yeah.
cannot, how good is he?
He did well against South Africa also, if
He
memory
did well
serves me
against
right.
Australia also.
Yeah, and the West
Man
Indies.
averages 89, has a
And-
strike rate of 176. Like, what
He
more do you want?
continued the golden run from IPL 2023, sustained it for 1 year. It's like this big balloon of celebrations. Yes, it's about to come, it's about to come. Suddenly it's deflated.
Who said that about Instagram? Something about.
That was Ambati, right?
Oh,
He said that cricketing ability must take precedence over Instagram likability. Loved that line.
He
but
said,
I'm
we
guessing Rinku is quite liked on Instagram.
I don't think he's not that active a guy on social media. A lot of
But
his.
his reel is viral.
Yeah.
धोनी भैया से मैंने बात की क्या हुआ?
But that was not posted by him, no?
Yeah.
It was posted by the broadcasters. KKR posted it. So he's a pretty charming fellow in his own way.
Did he,
Very wholesome.
did he really anger people of breaking Virat Kohli's bat?
If he did, then I think it's more those people's problem than it is his problem.
But then see, it is a big shock. I mean, we all had said that he was the first guy on that sheet. What's changed?
He was the first guy in my 11. Never mind sheet. 15th was a long way off. 15 guaranteed. My squad is Rinku Singh, Rohit Sharma, and 13 others.
And just
Bumrah,
And Bumrah.
Kuldeep.
In fact, you know who said this?
Yeah.
Ian Bishop.
Ah.
He said, if I'm making my
15.
11,
Yeah.
For India.
I'm putting Rohit Sharma because he's captain. Just Rinku Singh
Yeah.
and Jasprit Bumrah.
And we know that
now
Bishop-
you fill in whoever you want.
And we know that Bishop is a big fan of Jasprit in that sense.
Yeah. So no, but who would not write Jasprit?
No, of course
Doesn't
not.
matter fan or not.
Fan or no
The
fan.
fourth bowler in this modern era.
Yeah.
Okay, on Virat Kohli, the other big talking point on Virat Kohli's strike rate. Somebody asked that question as well.
Another brilliant question.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what the answer of AajTak is. But if you wanted to know this answer before the press conference, you should have seen a
Mock films.
pre-press conference show. Okay, somebody read this.
He said that, listen, no, when he was asked about the strike rate and everything first, and I have to prefix this that he kind of laughed. There was a bit of laughter
The
there.
laugh was like mockingly.
Yeah, like
asking me this.
exactly. It wasn't like a good laugh. It was scoff. It was mocking. There was mirth in it. Everything in between. He was like, "Listen, Virat Kohli has been in great form. As far as the strike rate is concerned, there are no concerns over his strike rate from our end." And he specified that from our end, there are no concerns. And when you turn up for tournaments like the World Cup, pressures are different. IPL is one thing. World Cup is different. He's a world-class player, match winner. Fill in your cliche.
You data-driven journalists. Huh?
We
And
know.
it's the kind of scoffing that is
Are you journalist? Data driven.
Data-driven.
I know. The scoffing that is happening nowadays.
Those are just numbers.
I mean,
As
it is
Virat says.
next level.
Sitting in your box, you.
I know. You data-driven journalists. I mean, look at the way how this narrative has been framed.
Who has
up.
used this word? Why is going on and on about?
A certain Mr. 360.
Maybe he
AB
used.
de Villiers said.
What he said about data-driven journalists?
No.
He's fed up.
Not data-driven journalists. Data-driven experts or something. Like that.
Experts.
So that brings. I think he was. Don't take everything so personally. I think he was talking about former players who
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
driven by data.
But then what can they do about it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
So-
not saying either is right or wrong. I'm
I mean,
just
yeah.
saying where it was directed. Don't direct it on
The
yourself.
powers that be, when have they ever been worried about Virat Kohli? Which we should express surprise that AajTak will say anything to the contrary.
No, not at all.
They have never been worried about Virat Kohli. Despite you not winning for 11 years, they'll never be worried.
No.
It
What
is foolhardy to even imagine that they would be worried.
आपने ये माहौल बनाया बस.
Yes, डर का माहौल.
That is election time.
I don't know. But see, Virat's strike rate, it will never be an issue because
For?
he's Virat Kohli.
For the BC.
For the we are a different kettle of fish.
But is his strike rate an issue? He's on 147.
It will be an issue when he's having to bat in the middle order.
First. Yeah, he
Middle order, never
But you
mind.
never know the kind of pitch. Like if Rohit Sharma is to be big, again, the only pitch that he said he had no idea about is New York.
New York.
Which makes sense. No one has an idea about
Yeah.
that.
We
But
haven't
he
played
said
there.
in West Indies, which is where will be the business end, crucial, because see, it's not that you're carrying forward points from those
Yeah.
initial groups, so that will be done and dusted. You will make it irrespective of how the pitches are. You're going to make the next stop. There, it's going to be tougher. So if the pitches are indeed going to be what I'm thinking now, based on what Rohit Sharma has asked, then I think Virat's going to be very crucial there. That kind of batter you need.
Unless
By the
it's
way,
not a slow
while the press conference was on, a friend of mine in the United States, a cricket buff, messages like, if you're at the press conference, can you please ask him to make the tickets cheaper because match tickets in the US are very expensive.
But to be fair, I don't think that's in their control. That's ICC's.
No, because
agreement.
talking about strike rate, this is something that they mentioned, and this is what is giving. He said we looked at because this is actually an extension of the strike rate question about Virat and all. So he said we looked at our middle overs hitting, our top order hitting has been good. I want you to answer that. Do you agree? Don't agree? This is what Rohit Sharma said. We wanted someone in the middle overs for that role. We picked Shivam Dube for that, which I understand. The second bit I think is a no-brainer. You understand. That's why you picked him for that. By the way, he also spoke about, just adding, he also spoke about Shivam Dube, the bowler. So one insight that I've gotten here from this press conference is that doesn't matter how CSK are using him in the IPL. Rohit Sharma, the captain, and this is something we've been saying on Sports Today, that Rohit Sharma, the captain, because of the statements he'd been issuing earlier and now, is going to be looking at him as a bowler. The advantage of that is, or maybe why, is also because they both come from Mumbai. And Rohit Sharma has seen him bowl a lot in red ball cricket for Mumbai. And he says someone who can bowl in red ball cricket is a proper bowler, he's a proper cricketer. Just that T20 you have to make slight changes to that bowling. So he's not a novice when it comes to bowling. He bowls in red ball, which is tougher. Just that because he doesn't bowl too often in T20, you have to make slight changes from that red ball to white ball, which he thinks he will be able to make. Maybe they'll use him. So Rohit Sharma is definitely looking at Shivam Dube, which is what tells me, and he gives an insight, that Kulcha might play together in certain
Yes.
games.
He said,
whereas then Dube then comes into
any kind of combination depending upon the opposition and the conditions, they are very flexible on that.
did he also not say that the two left-arm spinners and Chahal could also play together?
As
that's
according
where
to
Dube will
conditions.
have to come in, because you have to reduce a fast bowler.
Yeah.
And I knew for a fact, looking at that 15, that they had to have been playing Dube because they only have 3 full pacers. You'd want one pacer on the bench, right? You need one. You can't be playing all 3. If you do, that's a big injury risk. So 2 of those pacers play, and the third and fourth pacer will then be shared between Dube and Hardik. Simple as.
Yeah. By the way, the one interesting thing when he was asked about his 11, what did he say?
अभी थोड़ी ना बताऊंगा.
5th June. If you do not believe us,
Mock friends.
go to our press conference. Exactly. In exact words. This is the exact word. The question asked was, what is going to be your playing 11? And the answer that we gave here will be, अरे 5 जून को पहला मैच है, अभी बहुत टाइम है.
अभी थोड़ा
Exactly.
See,
Shane, we should get.
No, I said we'll get them clipped. And we can actually play them one after the other. Yeah, 100%. Split screen that.
Before and after.
Split screen that.
So we'll do that with the press conference that we did and juxtapose it with the mock conference that they did.
Yeah, 100%.
4 p.m. after 4 p.m.
You very harsh, Raj. That is the press conference. You did the mock.
We did the conference. They did the mock conference. They copied us.
I can see lots of questions, Pawan.
Yeah. Because I thought we did the conference. They just copied us. Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Whoa.
Okay, Shanu Kamal.
Says Rohit's laugh on Journo's VK 150 strike rate question was?
As in?
As in the way Rohit laughed, that mirth and mocking that how dare you even on that.
Shanu is saying that it was a answer to Siddharth.
Yes. In all journalists like him, which includes half of us also, really. I mean.
Exactly. But yeah, you can laugh, my friend. We take that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it as a badge of honor.
Badge of honor, indeed.
Rakesh Bhushan.
Rakesh Bhushan says that Rohit Sharma today clarified that there's a reason for 4 spinners. Let us all respect Rohit Sharma and Ajit Agarkar's decision. Rohit Sharma is more eager to win the World Cup than all of us. This would be his last chance to lead in the World Cup. We don't
That's
know.
what you think.
Yeah.
We don't know
He
that.
has said he wants to play 2027.
And there would have been a T20 World Cup before that.
Again,
And in India.
AG and RS
He
could
says
see
Adit
something.
Agar and Rohit Sharma could see something which
But we touched upon that, Rakesh.
see.
I mentioned it earlier in our.
Also, sometimes we tend to give, like, I know sometimes we can be overly critical, part of the job description. But on the other hand, there is another set of people who will be so trustworthy. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just two very interesting ways of just analyzing the entire thing.
The
That
truth lies in the middle.
Yeah, that they know something we don't. Trust them. And, okay, sure.
Rakesh Bhushan.
There are two ways to effect a change in corporate sector. Let leader know well before and wait for his resignation or sack him. MI chose the latter. This means they are okay with RS separation from MI next year. This is not done. Are we so sure about that?
Yeah, of course. You don't stay on in that sort of a scenario. I think I'm pretty sure you'll see Rohit join another side by next year.
Yeah, let's see whether Harshit, your fortunes can change.
Yeah, he likes the blue jersey anyway.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe a little bit of red also on it.
Yeah, let's see. Shoyananda saying Rohit debunked the theory once for all that was doing the rounds that senior pros have given up on T20 format. They were always around and had just been rested owing to workload
No,
management.
sure, yeah, that's correct. But again, there's two sides of that story, which you saw on display in this very PC only. And that's the thing. If they had kept the same line, no, I would have no choice but to believe it because it's coming. But Ajit Agarkar starting off on one thing, Rohit then stepping in. By that point, cat's out of the bag.
Plus, Rohit's not said this for the very first time.
He's been saying this for a while now.
Daniel M from Australia.
Yep.
Must be pretty late there.
Yeah, 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
They had
12
12 o'clock.
Yeah. Top and middle order players is out.
Was that intentional, Daniel?
Top and middle order players is out of form / anchors. And now we don't have a specialist finisher. Also, is Captain Marsh's winning record underrated?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Mitch Marsh is someone who I think it took him a lot longer to become the leader that Australia expected. But this is a guy who led Australia to a T20 an under-19 World Cup.
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, so it's not like he's someone who doesn't have that pedigree. It just took him a long time and getting over the major injury bugs that he's had in his career.
For 4 to 5 years, he's been plagued by injuries. He's just been playing consistently ever since 2021.
I mean, he and Pat Cummins were very much in the same boat at one point in time. They lost a lot of that chunk of their careers to injuries, but now you're seeing what Mitch Marsh can do. So, yeah.
Exactly. Suryan Sharma is saying Rohit's strike rate in ODI World Cup power play was 135. Sometimes ODI gives that illusion of aggression. Even Daryl Mitchell, KL Rahul have good strike rate in ODIs.
Suryansh. Chef's kiss. What a
But he makes a valid point.
What
that
a comment.
Each format is different.
Yes.
And you have to judge the strike rate differently.
Correct.
And, but to be fair, I think Rohit has shown in this IPL, he's not been consistent, but has shown that he can operate at a high strike rate. But he needs to be consistent. Just a high strike rate doesn't suffice, I guess. Anyway, team has been picked.
Make peace with it now.
This is back them now.
Yeah.
Lagovlin speaks. What is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, from the US. Pre-Dada region-based selection bias existed, confirmed recently by KEF. Is there bias in India? Okay, KEF said in an interview that before Dada, region-based selection used to happen. Dada changed it, but this is a common knowledge. Everyone
It's
knows that.
known. Yeah.
Is there bias in Indian cricket? Would Rinku make it if he was from Mumbai, Delhi, or Bangalore? What does everyone say?
Very difficult.
I'll quote Jose Mourinho. I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in trouble, big trouble.
Respect.
I prefer not to speak.
Respect.
Yeah. It's very difficult. See, he is not from Mumbai, Delhi, or Bengaluru in all the power
And he's from Kolkata, no? That's why.
He's not.
I know he's not from Kolkata, it's just a saying. Yeah, he's a UP lad.
It's Kolkata's adopted son.
The
Yes.
Kolkata captain is from Mumbai.
Exactly. Plus a lot of our star players too.
Yeah.
Ankresh, Ramandeep,
You don't.
our head coach here.
Yeah. You don't have a single Kolkata-based guy apart from Anukul Roy.
And he's also technically from Jharkhand.
Yes. Okay.
Mumbai Knight Riders.
Mentor from Delhi.
I know. It's
Pace
TN
bowler
Titans.
from
Pace bowler, best pace bowler from Delhi.
No. TN Titans, Maharashtra Super Kings.
Okay, Shubham Garg is here.
Yeah. Thank God, good sense prevailed. Ashwin parachute thinking got blocked out this time. Otherwise, Ash would have played 4 consecutive T20 and ODI.
That is correct,
By the
actually.
way, they did speak about thinking of an
Yeah, that's
spin.
why. Yeah, that's why he's saying, thank God it was.
Yeah,
not
Washington,
Washington
yeah.
Sundar's name came up.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel M from Australia says thoughts on a Mallu in Indian cricket team for all Indian cricket.
Yeah,
team.
2007 and 11 had
11.
Srishant.
Ah,
And now you've got
Sanju.
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 I love Mallus anyway.
Yeah.
Love the food, love the
Yeah.
state.
Yep.
Awesome.
Rakesh Bhushan.
And the toddy that they have.
Yeah, that's good too.
The Malabar paratha.
Malabar. Oh.
A nice little bit of,
Don't get
meat
us
fry.
started on the food.
Rakesh Bhushan.
I'm not listening. AA
Ajit Agarkar.
is lying when he says it was all T20 performance. India played 17 T20s in 2023. Less sample size, not all stalwarts played majorly. Then which T20 did they watch? Afghanistan series?
No,
Yes.
but, no, but also I think because now, again, you got to put it into perspective. Because if you believe Rohit, where he says that he and Virat and all were resting because it was, ODI World Cup year, then you can't take their performance anyway. So they come in, and the rest of them had been playing T20I, they've seen that. The one question mark was over Hardik's form, to which also he addressed. He said that, the kind of quality that he brings, they're hoping that he'll
balance.
Yeah, he'll bring the balance, and they're hoping that he'll get into form. Plus, they mentioned that, as a fast bowler, because you're only going with 3, you definitely need someone like a Hardik to bring that, which is understandable. I think even if I was captain, irrespective of Hardik's patchy form, I
He
would
has
have
to be
gone.
there.
Ajit
You can't
in fact
have
went
anyone
ahead and
else.
said that there's something Hardik can do that nobody else can do in the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ashish Dhar is saying, Rinku saying like Nana Patekar. Control.
Control.
Hey.
Control.
Yeah, every squad in the last 10 years
Has required control.
and also Nana Patekar's other dialogue. ये सोच कर आते कि आज जीतेंगे, कल जीतेंगे, परसों जीतेंगे, रोज हारते हैं.
That's correct.
Yeah. Iconic dialogue from Yashwant.
Ashish Dhar says Rinku's.
That's
I love mutton biryani.
It's back.
Making me hungry.
Love clarity of AA and RS PCs, both 23 and 24. Squad, I don't know.
See, basically he's saying the clarity of their PCs are great. Their squad's probably less so.
Yes.
I mean,
Maybe he's also just relieved to see the captain and the and then the chief selector have a press conference, and he's also just happy with that thought.
I mean, one of our family members today was saying, "Sir, I'm so excited. We are seeing an Indian press conference. That always gets me excited."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Akshay Balyan says, Nikhil sir, is really a slow pitch we have seen in the World Cup, so that spinner play a huge role, your opinion, because it's a World Cup, not a bilateral.
exactly.
A good point, Akshay. And I think this is something we pointed out here in sports today, that my understanding is that you will get good batting friendly track in the West Indies. Again, I don't know about the US, drop in pitches, don't know. In the West Indies, you'll get good batting track. We saw that in the West Indies series. 200, 220 was easy to chase, and that's without an impact player. So good batting performances you'll see. I think it being an ICC event, they usually have very good batting pitches. So all that is going to be there, but I think in that sense, Rohit Sharma is looking at bilateral. You never know. Rohit Sharma went there a year in advance.
Yeah.
He knows what kind of pitches. He may know.
He
a
played
thing
in
or
the
two.
ODIs.
But I'd be very
Yes.
surprised. Maybe towards the. But actually, you're not playing the full tournament there. So
Yeah, and not full tournament is going to be in every ground, right? Every ground, like maybe 3-4 games, 5 games
Yeah.
here or
I'm
there.
going to be
playing-
proven wrong. But I don't know.
But yeah, with the benefit of foresight, I don't really
You're
agree
playing
with
in
this.
5 venues until the semi-finals. You're playing in New York, Lauderhill, then you're playing in Barbados, St. Lucia,
Lucia.
and you're playing in Antigua. So
Not so.
every venue has got a different thing altogether when it comes to it.
Final comment. Karthik K from the US says, without Rinku in the 15,
He's been sleeping like a baby. Then I'll wake up, cry, and go back to sleep and repeat.
Oh my
That's how upset he is that
Karthik.
there's no Rinku Singh.
Okay.
And he says, just kick Jaddu out for Rinku
Is
Singh.
your scared much the same?
Yes, somewhat. I'm starting to believe we lead parallel lives at this point. He says, I believe in miracles. Rinkia will be in the 11.
Rinki.
I added the R. He said Rinki.
But Rinkia ke Papa said.
Rinkia ka papa said he's disappointed.
Upset.
Huh?
Indeed.
It might happen like Shami was in the reserves in T20 World Cup. Shami came back and
Another Rinku fan is here. So
Yep. KJU.
hope is alive.
Yeah, hope.
Keep the hope alive.
Keep the
Okay,
faith.
on that note, thank you for your company. Oh, there's one more.
Shubham,
Go for it.
West Indies, England were day-night matches, whereas India matches will be 10 a.m. morning games. Pitches will not be flat, no dew impact.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point, but I don't know whether there would have been so much dew in the West Indies. I've been there, so
Yeah, dew is really not a factor there.
yeah, it's not a factor in the West Indies. I can't remember, but anyway, I saw a lot of daytime games there, anyways.
In fact, either two echoes that saying that there will be no
5
dew.
AM, yeah.
Spinners will be handy.
Once we get there, I'll give you the live report from there, whether there's dew or not.
Yes.
On that note, bye bye. See you 7 o'clock.
20
We're going to be back.
20 minutes.
Then we can again talk about this only.
Exactly.
Many of our family members wishing you a very happy birthday.
Wishing me thank you so much for your kind wishes. Don't ask me my age, but thank you for your wishes nonetheless. And my best birthday gift would be if you keep coming live.
Has
Every
the chief selector wished you? Now he'll have the time.
Chief selector, why will chief selector wish me? Chief selector has more important things to do than wish a
But he
flunky.
watches sports today.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
He's telling me.
nice.
Okay, bye bye. Take care. Good night. Vadakam. Nandri.
Plenty of time.
In
still.
20
Till 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Till 20
Some
minutes.
cake. With some cake.
No,
Bye.
no, the cake will be in our stomachs. We can't eat it here.
You want to get fined?